I used to think there'd always be another chance. A birthday, a holiday, a random Tuesday. Just someday I'd pick up the phone and we'd talk like nothing happened. But that day never came, and now it can't. My brother and I hadn't spoken in years. Not over anything big, just a stupid argument that turned into silence. He died before we could fix it. This isn't a story about grief, not really. It's about the conversation we never had, and the cost of waiting. If you've ever thought, I'll call them tomorrow, I want to tell you something. Growing up, my brother and I were inseparable. We were just 15 months apart. Irish twins, they used to say. We shared a room, shared clothes, shared secrets. Most nights ended with us laughing at something no one else would have found funny. We fought like brothers do, over chores, over who got the last cookie. But we never stayed mad. That just wasn't our way. Our house was loud, full of opinions and interruptions, but also full of forgiveness. You snapped, you sulked, and then you sat down for dinner. That was the rhythm. Then life started pulling us in different directions. I got married young and climbed the ladder at a shipping company. Long hours, always something urgent. He opened a small auto shop and worked even longer. We still kept in touch. A few calls here and there, holiday texts, the occasional lunch. But it wasn't like before, and I don't think either of us noticed it slipping. That's the thing. Time doesn't announce itself. It just moves. And if you're not careful, one missed call becomes a pattern. Then the silence doesn't feel like anything unusual. It just feels normal. It happened fast. He'd asked to borrow money, not a huge amount, just enough to get through a slow month. I helped, of course. A couple of weeks later, he mentioned buying a new TV, and I made some offhand comment, trying to be funny, I guess. He didn't laugh. Said I was judging him. I pushed back. He snapped. I snapped harder. It wasn't even about the money. It was pride, frustration, old stuff neither of us had said out loud. The call ended cold. I expected we'd cool off and talk again. That's what always happened before. But this time, it didn't. At first, I thought it would blow over. I mean, how many arguments had we had as kids? This was just one more. I figured I'd give it a few days, then a few more. Then suddenly it was his birthday and I didn't call. Then it was mine, and he didn't either. The silence stretched. I told myself I didn't want to push him. But deep down, I was waiting for him to go first, waiting until I didn't feel stubborn or embarrassed or whatever it was. I kept thinking, it's not that serious. But time has a way of making small things feel permanent if you let it. I had a whole list of reasons not to call. I told myself he owed me an apology, that I didn't start the argument, that I had a right to feel hurt. And sure, maybe all of that was technically true, but underneath it, if I'm honest, I was scared. Scared of rejection. Scared we'd talk and it wouldn't feel the same, or worse, that he wouldn't even want to talk. So I built this wall out of logic, pretended my silence was mature. Every now and then I'd scroll through my contacts, see his name, hover over it. Maybe next week, I'd think. And then I'd put the phone down. Every time. It was a Tuesday. I remember that because it was just another regular day. I was at work, sifting through emails, half listening to the news in the background. My sister called. We don't talk that often, so I knew something was wrong. Her voice was tight, like she was trying to stay composed. She said it straight. He'd had a heart attack. No warning. He was gone before the ambulance got there. Just like that. No last words. No goodbye. It felt like someone had pressed pause on the world, like a story I thought I had time to finish had just ended. No rewrite, no edits. The funeral didn't feel real. I stood there, surrounded by people who loved him, Friends from the garage, old neighbors, folks I hadn't seen in years. They were telling stories, laughing through tears, sharing memories like warm bread. I just stood there, nodding. I didn't speak. I couldn't. What could I say? That I let a grudge grow roots? That I waited too long? That I thought there'd be a better moment, a cleaner moment, to patch things up? The weight of all the things I didn't say was louder than anything happening around me. After the service, we went back to his house. People brought food, sat around swapping stories. I walked into the kitchen to be alone for a minute, and there it was. This old photo, stuck to the fridge with a magnet. Me and him, maybe 8 and 9, grinning with missing teeth, arms around each other like we owned the world. The photo was worn, a little bent at the corners. He kept it, through everything. All those years of silence, that photo stayed. I don't know why that hit me so hard. Maybe because it meant I was wrong. He hadn't forgotten me. He hadn't stopped caring. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, running through every version of the call I never made. The simple ones, the clumsy ones, the ones that start with, "I've been thinking about you," or, "Hey, I miss you." I whispered a few out loud just to hear them. They sounded so ordinary, so easy. None of it would have taken more than a minute, a few words to reach across the gap. But I never made that call. I waited for the right moment, whatever that means. And now all those words just float around with nowhere to land. I wasn't just grieving my brother. I was grieving all the years we threw away, all the conversations we didn't have. I kept thinking of stupid things, like how he used to steal fries off my plate, or the way he always sang the wrong lyrics. The inside jokes no one else would get. That's what I lost. Not just him, but the chance to be brothers again. And I gave that up for the comfort of being right. I thought silence protected me, but all it did was steal time I can't get back. People mean well. They say, let it cool off. Give it time. Wait until you're ready. But no one says, you might not get another chance. No one says, you'll live with the silence longer than you lived with the fight. If someone had looked me in the eye and said, you'll never forgive yourself for this, maybe I would have picked up the phone. But the world doesn't give you warnings like that. And by the time I understood what I'd done, it was too late to do anything about it. I stood by his grave and whispered, I'm sorry. Again and again, like if I said it enough, it would reach wherever he was. I knew he couldn't hear me, but I said it anyway. I needed to say it. For him, for me, for the years that vanished between us. It wasn't closure. It didn't fix anything. It didn't bring peace. But it was the only thing left. Just me, a quiet morning, and all the versions of our life that ended before they could begin. Since then, I don't wait anymore. Not for the perfect moment, not for the apology, not for the other person to come around first. I reach out, I call, I send the message, I say what's in my heart, even if it comes out clumsy. It doesn't fix everything. It doesn't undo the time I lost with my brother, but it honors it. It reminds me that silence isn't neutral. It has weight, and it leaves marks, and I carry those marks. So now, when something matters, I don't save it for later. Later is too risky. Later can disappear. I speak now. I carry a small folded list in my wallet. 5 names. People I care about but don't talk to enough. Friends, old co-workers, my cousin, folks who drifted to the edges. Every Sunday I pick one and call, just to check in. Sometimes we talk for 20 minutes, sometimes 2. Sometimes it's a little stiff, especially if we haven't spoken in a while. But every time, I hang up feeling like a window's opened somewhere. like I let a little light in. It's not about saying the perfect thing. It's about showing up. I wish I'd understood that sooner. I held on to that argument with my brother like it proved something, like my silence was justified because I hadn't done anything wrong. But what did I win, really? A few years of quiet pride? I used to think being right mattered. Now, I think being present matters more. Listening, showing up. I would trade every ounce of being right for one more meaningless phone call. One more Sunday afternoon arguing about baseball or weather. All that time, it didn't feel like a loss while it was happening. But now, it's the most expensive thing I own. Time's not this wide-open thing we pretend it is. It's measured in unread texts, missed calls, empty chairs. It's finite, like shelf space. You only get so many books, so many chapters. And the hardest part? You never know which one's the last. We assume we've got more holidays, more birthdays, more chances to make things right. But sometimes, the story ends in the middle of a sentence. I used to live like I had a whole library left. Now, I try to treat every conversation like it could be the last page, not out of fear, just out of respect. People open up to me sometimes. They'll say, "I haven't spoken to my dad in years," or "My best friend and I had a falling out." And I don't tell them what to do. I just share my story. I tell them how I waited, how I thought the right moment would come, and how it never did. And then I ask one thing. If that person died tomorrow, would silence still feel like the right choice? Would your side of the story still feel worth holding on to? I don't ask it to guilt them. I ask because I wish someone had asked me. I don't remember the last thing I ever said to my brother. I've tried over and over to pull it back, a phrase, a laugh, anything, but it's gone. What's left is everything I didn't say, all the versions of the conversation I should have had. I should have called sooner. I should have said I missed him, that I was sorry, that none of it mattered more than us. If you're waiting for a sign, let this be it. Don't let stubbornness write the ending. Say the thing, even if it's awkward, even if it's small, because the silence you choose now might be the one you live with forever. If this story stayed with you, if it reminded you of someone or made you pause, I hope you'll stick around. Subscribe for more stories like this, ones that speak to the quiet places in us. And if you found something meaningful here, consider liking the video. It helps more than you think. More than anything, I'd love to hear from you. Is there someone you've been meaning to call, but haven't yet? Have you ever carried a silence longer than you meant to? Share your thoughts in the comments. You never know who might need to read your words.